Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to 2 Point Hospital. We are back in Blighton, the final level of the fourth world of 2 Point County. And we're on our 2 and 3 star objectives today. We need to get our hospital level to 14, have a constant hygiene rating of at least 80%, vaccinate 45 infected people, and maintain a cure rate of 75%. Now, we have a few queues and stuff building up, so I think it's probably time to do a little bit of expanding. We're going to do some training to begin with. This entire episode is probably going to be a lot of jumping through hoops in terms of training our staff, making new rooms, adjusting to any sort of infections that we get within the hospital, and moving on, so on and so forth. So I'm going to be doing a lot of waiting, basically. So we're going to cut as much of that out as possible, and you'll just get the kind of experience of me putting in those rooms and talking every now and then. Okay, so that bit of an earthquake there. Don't worry about that, guys. We'll be okay. We're going to put in a DNA lab now. This is going to be our first one. We've got a few requests coming in for rooms, and now that we've not got that like death cycle that we got ourselves into for a little bit there, I can start expanding the actual hospital and catering to a few of the more deadly illnesses that we can be dealing with in this one. I'm just looking for a aircon unit. There it is, small aircon unit. We just need to fit that in here somewhere, anywhere. Can you go somewhere for me, please? Will you go in this corner here? Okay, no one can get to any other places. Right, we can just put it there, that's fine. So I forgot that thermal comfort rating was a thing here. Right, so they want an injection room. That's going to be the next thing that we need to build, and we can continue expanding yet again. Where's my injection room blueprint? Where are you? That's it there. Right, okay, we'll put this one in. And as you can see, we're now starting to move some of the more advanced diagnosis. That's a surgery requirement. We're going to do one of them at some point as well. But we have the money now, and also we have the doctors to be able to do this, because we've done a really nice long-term training thing where we've just been bringing in juniors and training those up to a level. We can then specialize them and put them in to a very particular treatment room and just have them working in that at all times. So we do have a large staff profile here, but each staff member has a purpose, and we just need to continually adjust that. So we've got this staff member here who will only work in the injection room. We're going to put in our recovery room now. As you can see, we've got 24 of 45 infected people cured. The hospital level is low at the moment, and we do need to work a little bit harder to bring that up. Putting in more rooms will increase our hospital level, though. So as we move to accommodate all of these new illnesses that we're getting in, the hospital level is going to raise. Also, training your staff, leveling up your staff, and upgrading your machines will also increase your hospital level. So we just need to make sure we keep doing that as well. Just playing around with my staff assignments a little bit there as well. And I also want to put in a resolution lab. So we've got our recovery room there. We're going to stick this resolution lab down as well, because we do have some patients coming in with cubism. So we'll get that in. That's going to increase our hospital level again. And then we just need to start blanket upgrading some machines, because I realized I've not done any of that so far. And that'll be the next kind of step, because once again, upgrading machines, better cure rates. It's the perfect combination, folks. Good staff, good machines. That's all you need. Right, it's about time we put in our surgery. We've been waiting a long time for this and sent a lot of people home. And the reason being, surgeries have some of the more difficult chances to succeed at a cure, as well as the DNA lab. Both of those rooms are the ones that I've had the least amount of success with, because they seem to have the illnesses in there that are the most difficult to cure. I think I have a doctor who's trained in surgery, but he isn't really well trained in terms of treatment. I know you can get a level 2 surgery skill as well, and I think level 3 maybe. But what's really key is that we have a nurse paired up with them who's really well trained in treatment, and I do have that. So if we have a good doctor who's good with surgery and a good nurse with maxed out treatment levels, we're looking at a really successful surgery there. The DNA lab as well, we should probably just specialize a couple of doctors to only work in that treatment room and increase their treatment skill level as well as upgrading the machines in the treatment lab. lots of stuff going on, lots of like jiggery-pokery with staff roles and things, but I think we've got it licked this time around. But coming to the end of the year, and I've definitely not had my usual panic on this level, I think I've kind of got myself a little strategy going here. So let's take a look. We're at the end of our 4th year. What have we won? Okay, most prestigious hospital, Employee of the Year, Rising Star, and the best teaching hospital. I'll take that. That's pretty good. But why are we've got staff resignation warnings. What's going on here? Cryptology as well. Maybe it's probably time to build our cryptology room. Just taking a look at our staff. We have 33 staff members here, but see, none of them seem to want a pay rise. Maybe it's because of training, so we should probably expand. We've got a lot of staff who are ready for training who haven't actually been trained yet. I could do with putting another staff room, so we're going to put that one down now, just duplicating the one we've already got, because the staff don't have a lot of space in that staff room, and we've got like 33 staff members we need to accommodate here. Things are a little bit at the moment, but we're not going to go 90 days without a death. That would just be silly. I think I've made a huge mistake by upgrading all of these machines in one go, because the janitors are now completely stretched. So if anything goes wrong or we have litter and things, they're all going to be so busy upgrading those machines, and it's going to be a bit of a disaster. We'll just have to power on through, really, though. I think next time, while I've been setting these roles for my doctors and my nurses, I've not been doing it for assistants and janitors, so that is probably going to be key to the final island, just making sure that my staff are being well utilised. And that has been key to kind of learning the game for me, is making sure that you're doing these things as you go. I didn't train a lot of staff previously. The time has come for cryptology, because one of our staff members has requested that we get a level 4 cryptology. Well, it just so happens I have a level 5 one right here, and we're going to place that down now. And there we go. Nice and easy. That's probably the easiest staff request I've ever done. But we're going to have to staff it now. So I just want to make a few adjustments as well, because I have a load of treatment-based nurses here, and I think I'm just going to blanket have them put in every single room that they can actually use. So wherever there's a nurse-based treatment, we'll put them in there, apart from ward and pharmacy management, I guess, because they have a more specialised skill. And we have nurses who can cover that, like Magnus Blint at the top there. It's another end of year award season. Let's go. There, oh, that's really good. Only ones we didn't get were No Death and Best Research Hospital. I'll absolutely take that. See, so we are now growing. We've gotten into like the kind of end of the 5th year, and the scales are tipping in our favour. I always find with 2 Point Hospital, when you start a level, what basically happens is you have this downward kind of spiral where your reputation and your hospital level exceeds, you know, there's too much demand for you to cope with, and then eventually you get that low point, and then you gradually start raising yourself back up until the scales really tip in your favour and the level becomes a lot easier. And I'd say we're at that point now. And if you're obviously watching this video, you're going to see highlights and little bits of clips and things like that. This has taken a long time. You look like the last couple of them. I've probably cut out a load in this video. We're just going to move this training room here, because I want 2 training rooms operating now. We can afford it, and I just think it's going to be a lot easier for us to really quickly train up our staff and get those trainees ready for the next sort of step in their careers, I suppose. But yeah, we are unlocking some of the more highly sought after skills in the game for some of our staff. We have 4 doctors who are ready to be general practice level 4, which really helps with the initial diagnosis and helps with them just pushing through those patients as fast as possible. You'll notice we only have 4 GPs officers still, and we've not got a single queue at any of them now. Normally it would be a nightmare. I'd have 8 or 9 GPs officers, because my GPs just could not process people quick enough. But now we're able to get people moving really quickly. I've moved all my GPs officers back into the one room, and we have a lot more space to play around with. It looks like things have gone a little bit weird in terms of my GPs, but just remember, they're all training at the moment, which is why we have a queue. We're at the end of another year. Let's see what we've won. That's an epidemic. Everything's happening right now. Year 6, what do we get?
in second place.
Oh, almost a clean sweep again. Look at that. I should probably do some research just to bring in some kudos maybe. And then we'll also maybe go for a no deaths. I don't think we'll get no deaths though. That's not going to happen. But it might be time to go back to Blighton University and do some of the research on the new machines we've unlocked, because I'm pretty sure things like cryptology or the recovery room and things, they can all have their machines upgraded, so we'll just need to do that. I'm just bringing in 2 new nurses here, and we're gonna have them not work anywhere for now, because I want to just start by training them up initially as diagnosis based nurses, and then we'll move them in to pick up some of the slack from the extra diagnosis rooms we've got in there, because at the moment most of those rooms only have 1 nurse working in them, so when they go on a break somebody else has to pick up the slack, or we end up with a backlog of patients waiting because all of the staff are on a break. Oh, there we go, 2 stars. Nice, amazing. Right, okay, so it's starting to happen without us even realizing now. Level 4 cafe, we're not going to bother with that one. But we need to get our hospital level to 18, now have a hygiene rating of 90%, vaccinate 60 infected people, and maintain a cure rate of 90%. Somewhat frustratingly, I did have a staff request to build a level 4 cafe, and I abandoned it, and now I want to build a cafe. Mainly because I've never really built a cafe before, and I kind of want to see how they work, hoping that it drives some foot traffic up here into this area. But because I don't actually have any treatment rooms over here, I don't know if it's going to be a good idea or the best placement for it, but it all helps get our hospital level up. So we're just going to design that and put it in place, and I'll see how things go. It may be something that I put in the final few levels on the base game, or bring back to some of my former levels if I want to go back and make them look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but I'm not too bothered about them, really. I've also heard that when they do get really popular, your patients spend a lot of time in there, and it can really affect their health if they're waiting for treatment. It also holds up queues. If somebody is kind of in line at anywhere, and they go somewhere for some food or drink from the cafe, the animation of them being in the actual cafe and doing this, that, and the other, it lengthens the amount of time in between that, and all the while they're still in the queue and other people are waiting. I don't know if that's true. It's just kind of what I read up on it, and also learned that it's not the most advisable room to actually put in your hospital. But I like them. I think they look pretty cool. We'll just see how they go. The other thing I need to do is sort out this reception area, because that is an absolute joke. We have a queue so long that it's going out of the door, and we're going to actually design a proper reception room if I can just about squeeze one in. But there's going to be a little bit of like jiggery pokery to get this one working. And if I can at least just get like 2 reception pods in there, then we'll be okay. I don't want to build it too far back though, because I don't want to see these arcade machines at the back there get sold or moved to make way for them, so we're going to have to just make sure that we're doing everything correctly. The annoying thing about these reception rooms is the hatch. They have such a large footprint, and they really do make it difficult to fit stuff in, and like you can't squeeze 2 pods together like that. I'm just going to show you here. You look at that. And then it would be great if I could just squeeze 2 reception pods right at the front there, or have one at the front and then move the 2 like sculptures around and have another couple. But you would think you'd fit 3 reception pods right here, but you can't, because the actual hatch has such a large footprint on the building blueprint itself, which is a little bit frustrating, and I think it could have been thought out a little bit better. But we can fit 2 pods in there. We're just going to throw a load of flowers down, and then a gold flower vase. We'll put a radio in as well, and then some of the miniature filing cabinets. If we can at least get this to like prestige level 3 or 4, I think we'll be okay. It's like 3.5, that'll do. Because we're getting a few queues at psychiatry, I'm going to duplicate this one and drop it in. And I think that's pretty much going to be how we're going to finish this level off. Whenever we have a queue, or there seems to be a high demand for a particular room, we just put it in. We've got the money now, our profits are looking really good. We've not actually had to raise our prices at all in this level, and that's mainly because of the new management strategy that we're rolling with, which is really quite pleasing to see. And it's taken a long time, like 25 episodes or something, but I'm finally getting to grips with the game. Duplicating the pharmacy now, because there's a lot of demand for that, and then we can start upgrading the machines there as well. There's also a few more upgrades we could do with some of the other new rooms we've got. Like, we've duplicated a few. I think we duplicated our DNA lab a bit earlier on, and it's end of year. I'm going to put some hand sanitizers in on the walls. Oh, well, I'll do that after this. Didn't win most prestigious hospital or hospital of the year. That's disappointing. So as you can see, the happiness and the health of our patients is looking pretty good. This is probably the best it's been. I've not had to do my mass sending home of anybody, and everything's just going a lot smoother. We're duplicating our surgery. You can see we got 2 new DNA labs there. I don't think I've mentioned that yet, and we're just working on upgrading those. That's come from like a huge demand for people in the DNA lab for treatment and maybe for diagnosis as well. I should probably set some of them to only do treatment and some to only do diagnosis. That might help things along a little bit. But we just need to rearrange our staff assignments as well, because we've had some more new staff. Probably time to copy this recovery room, because once again, I mean, I know we do have a couple of emergencies going on right now, cubism being one of them. Another end of year coming in. That's better. Back to winning ways. Right, clearing up again. So we're almost at hospital level 18. We've just got to wait for a few more epidemics to start and then maintain that cure rate. Again, we come in and we just adjust some of our staff assignments. You can see now we're on 53 staff members. We could do with some more assistance, I guess, but I'm pretty happy with our doctors and nurses at the moment and just giving them the correct assignments. It's looking really good. So we shouldn't be too far off now. I've got 2 more abominable curses to find, and I was really hoping that like one of them would pass on the infection to somebody else. But one of the things I've noticed that now that the hospital is getting a bit more spread out, the people are more spread out, which means it's a little bit more difficult to spot the epidemics, which I knew would happen because really early on in the game when we were first looking for them, it was so easy to spot them because they were all congregating in one area. We've got someone storming out because they're really bored, but we can deal with that. That's fine. Let them go. One less thing for me to worry about. But another thing, because they're so spread out, they're more difficult to spot, and also they're not spreading things as much as possible. It only happens when we get like a real backlog. And I was hoping that this one epidemic would be the one that pushes me over, because I was hoping that they'd spread it to somebody else, but that's not happened, which is a bit of a shame. And I still can't find anyone. I've got one more person with Abominable Curse to find, and I'm not seeing them anywhere. We've got end of year awards coming in again. Let's have a look at what we've won. And again, yep, year 9. Still going strong. Where are they? Where are they hiding? They're either going to die or they're going to leave, because I can't see them anywhere, and I don't think it's a staff member. We have a lot of vaccines left though. So, oh, there they are. Got them. So, for the sake of one final infection, that's what's going to be the difference between us completing the level and not. We're going to do some more training. Our 2 training rooms are working really well in tandem, so it's allowing us to really specialize our staff and train people up quickly, which keeps the staff happy because they don't like it when they have training slots available and they don't do any training. So that's one other thing that I've learned. I've had a lot of people who've like threatened to quit, and it's got nothing to do with their pay. I mean, it may have something to do with the fact that I only had 1 staff room for 33 staff members a while ago, but now we're a lot better. I'm going to hire some more staff. And this might actually take us up over, that's hospital level 18. Now we've just got 1 more infected person to find and then get our cure rate back up to 90%. It kind of hovers between 80 and 90 at all times, which is really nice to see. And we're not getting a lot of deaths, we're just mainly getting people failing to be cured. So that's something that we can look at as we tweak our strategy moving forward into the final 3 levels of the game. Well, obviously the DLCs, I'm going to be doing them. They're coming. Anyway, back to where we are right now. We're going to talk a little bit because it's taken a long time for us to get to the stage that we're currently at. And I'm just going to basically explain everything that I've done to get to this point. We have a hygiene rating of 91%. Our infected people, we've got We're a few more to go, and a cure rate of 90% that we need to maintain. That does fluctuate between like 80 and 95%, so we're doing pretty well with that. We're going to take on this premature mummification emergency, and I'm going to duplicate our cryptology department. And as long as we have the correct staff in there, we should be able to blast out all 7 of these with ease. And that'll have our... You can see here we've got like 1 more infected person to find. And I was really hoping we could have gotten that in the last run of infections, but we should be able to get that done. Anyway, what we've done is we have all of our GP's offices in one location, apart from one, which is in the next wing to your right, if you're looking at the screen now. We've got our cafe, which hasn't really seen much use, I guess. It does get a couple of people in there. We've got a psychiatry department, an extra pharmacy. Over here are 2 training rooms which have been instrumental. Recovery unit, and then over here we've got a few more of the advanced treatment and diagnosis rooms. And yeah, so what we got here, that's the other GP's office. And then our debugger, mega scanner, DNA lab, injection room, recovery room, extra toilets. These all improve the hygiene level. Over here is where we've just put in our new cryptology. 2 DNA labs there to cope with the extra stuff we've got. We just trained 50 assistants in our career. That's good. Another mega scanner, another injection room, which actually needs repairing. Another recovery unit, staff room and a new surgery on that side. And we've still got loads of space that we could grow into. Over here, this is very much the same as it was at the end of episode 1. All we've done is added another GP's office and a toilet there. So in total, we have, what, 5 GP's offices. And that's the least I've needed. Like, I've always ended up with like 8 or 9 of them because I've not trained people properly. And I'm hovering ferociously over these because I really want another epidemic to come in so I can get that done and push my cure rate up. Here's the epidemic, and it is Jogger's Ripple, which I find the most difficult one. So let's have a look, see if we've got anyone here with Jogger's Ripple. Also, some of the walking animations, I'm really getting confused and keep thinking that it's people with Jogger's Ripple and messing it up. So hopefully we'll just see one come blasting out. Somebody's tired. Look at that janitor. He looks like he's got it, but he hasn't. Come on, where are you? Come on. I'm gonna find you. It's so difficult because they're all so spread out now. We've opened up many... Oh, is it you? Hey, there we go. Oh, and we got the curator as well. Did that affect the curator, or did I just happen to cure someone at the same time? Well, we got $30,000 and 200 kudos for our troubles. I'm going to get rid of that now. I don't care about you anymore. The epidemic can spread all at once. So I really learned a lot from this one. You can see we've used quite a lot of space in this build. We've got like 3 empty rooms to our left and 1 to our right and 1 practically empty room to our right as well. But we've used the space really well. We could continue to expand this. There's plenty of room to do that. But now that we've completed the objectives, there's not really a need to carry on doing those 2 training rooms, though. They've been absolutely key, and I think that's something I'm going to do in future, is have a couple of training rooms on the go at the same time. We've got staff who are unsatisfied with their pay, but then when I go to the staff tab, they're not unsatisfied with their pay, so it's difficult. We finished with 57 staff in total, and we've got 2.5 million almost in the bank, so really healthy profit-wise. Patients are generally happy, and we don't get a lot of low health patients, so the treatment flow is looking really good as well. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this one's turned out. If you liked it, don't forget to drop me a like on the video, and I will see you for the next one. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Goodbye, and look after yourselves.